calling back. We're going to try to give her a call again, and then she just added another phone number to the 13-year-old grandson who's possibly with the daughter. Step out with this.
2412.
Veteran crisis hotline's calling in, so they have a female veteran's off her medication. She's at work to Safe Haven. Detecting 12, take a check that one out.
6-1 bullet, 2-1 start, take a shot.
Also still stands for time? No. Offender in custody? Thanks. Anyone else close, wait to see what's up, let me know. First time by. 10-4.
Let's get this show going. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for hopping in. Appreciate it very much. And man, do we got some stuff to talk about tonight. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate it. Oh, where's my analytical rain? There we go. I love my analytical rain. But man, if you guys saw that trailer, I don't know. I just did a little piece on the camera from 1112, the actual video of like it driving around and everything. Like I said earlier this morning, you got to remember back to the 911 call. Remember, it only got given to certain avenues, and then it came out, to the general public. So I think it's kind of the same thing with this as well, Dateline. Hey, here's a little gift like the other gift before. I'm sure it'll come out in a document trap here coming up. But that episode's tomorrow night. Now, when I watched the whole thing, I could have broke it all down. I could have covered it then. I've been real busy today. Actually, it was just a couple minutes late for the show even, so I apologize for that. Been very busy. So it wasn't something that I could sit there and cover for the whole morning or anything. But I did want to talk about that video because I was like, wow, okay, they got some video now. But if you watched that trailer, and we're going to break it down tonight. If you watch that trailer, it's kind of interesting. They gave you information that hasn't been out there. I thought this was a gag order, right? I thought it was supposed to be gagged. And then everybody would have at the same time the same opportunity to have the same access to that information. So that was kind of weird. But they said some things and they did a little bit of clickbait. I don't know if anybody picked up on it or not, but as soon as I seen it, I mentioned it to the team. They did a little clickbait. All right. Talking about how he had pictures of their friends, close friends, but yet showing pictures of the victims. So it's like twisting your mind. You know what I'm saying? It's twisting your mind. It's like, it's telling you he had connections, but then you're seeing the victims. And so your brain and your eyes are kind of like mixing it up together. And it's making you think, oh my gosh, there was connections. He had victims on his phone. No, they worded it and twisted it. And then with this girl, come on now. You got some guy that says, hey, we talked about hiking. I really like that. Let me know. What's more creepy, ladies? Let me know in the chat. And here, let me pull this up. What's more creepy, ladies? Is it getting a message like, hey, I really enjoyed the topic that we talked about last night, let me know, or something sexual, or something disrespectful, or you get what I'm saying? That's why I was like, yes, I got contacted and we talked for a little bit. And then he messaged me the next day and it was really formal weird. Well, that's better than some guy calling you a B word. That's better than some guy talking to you like you're an object. That's better than some guy talking all sexual to you when you just met. I mean, I'm confused here. And then also, when you think about that lady's story being on Dateline, why in the hell is she not being... she must not be a witness, right? She must not be a witness because what the hell is she doing out on Dateline? So when it comes to like how damning this information can be, you gotta consider what you're seeing in front of your face. You're seeing a witness on Dateline, or what we thought would be a witness on Dateline. A witness on Dateline before the trial starts? I don't understand that. And then the whole, yeah, it's really weird and creepy. Yeah, and creepy. Really? I'm sitting there thinking about all the times ladies have expressed to me, oh my gosh, I can't believe this, CJ. Wow, I'm sorry. All the times that I'm out there representing DV victims out there in these different communities, and they're coming up to me sharing their stories, right? About how men treated them like shit. And I'm looking at this text and I'm going, I don't understand. I don't understand. So you put those two together. She's on Dateline. The whole story. What is wrong with the text? Okay. Then you move on to the part where they're talking about he had pictures of WSU students and Idaho University students on his phone. Guess what? You're in the middle of nowhere. Pullman and Moscow are in the middle of nowhere. Who's going to be the people that you're probably going to have on your phone? Probably people from the two only towns that exist for frickin' miles, rolling hills, and a lot of fog. I don't understand that either. Exactly. 5 minutes of fame, right? I wonder how much she got paid too, Mama J. And thank you all for being here. I wonder how much she did get paid, but we do know one thing, because as soon as I seen her pop up on that trailer, I was like, yep, she ain't going to be in the trial. Because what are you doing on Dateline? If her story, and this is another thing, if her story meant so much that it was so damning, why again would she be on Dateline? That's why when I was sitting there, I'm going, what the heck is this? And then I hear the text message and I read it and I'm like, I don't understand. I don't understand. And then I saw that little twist in there. He had pictures of close friends. Close friends? While he's showing pictures of the victims, but they're blurred out. But everybody's been on this case for the last couple years. When you see a picture, even if it's blurred out, you know who the F it is. Also, there's the talk about the green car. This is the link to the video that I went through it on, episode 399. Now, I've been really busy the last couple days. I do apologize. Tomorrow, I was thinking about just because I'm busy, I have to do a show tomorrow. So I was thinking about just pushing back my other show I had planned and maybe just doing a footage show, trying to see where what all footage has the green car in it, because there's a lot of footage I never even published and I never even really skimmed through, just because I'm so busy. So, but I know Lana, she really would like to know if I do have anything. So I'm gonna try and I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's gonna take a long time to go through that footage. I'm just saying it's gonna take a long time to go through it. And I have to do a show, so it's like, well, maybe I'll just do it, or maybe I'll do a members only or something. I don't know. I still haven't decided yet, but I'm gonna try and scan through scan through that footage here in the next day and a half. I'm really gonna push for it. If not, I'll still be pushing Friday night to try and scan through it. And shout out to her, Truth and Transparency. Of course, you're already sub, but if you're not, I'll drop that link in a second. Also, when it comes to the suspect vehicle, this is something, and here's this video. This is as soon as those photos got dropped in the documents. It was obvious that the cars are not the same. Now, this is what I want everybody to understand, because I've always felt and I have it from. Thank you, Jennifer P, for the gifted membership. Speaking of 4 members, and me and Caddy are talking. I uploaded for members the first time I got to Moscow. And you know what? The green car might even be on that footage too. I don't know. Is it? If anybody's seen the video, it's 4 parts. And you can hear me and Caddy kind of talking as it's my first time ever showing up to that back parking lot at 11:22. And I don't know. Let me know if the green car's even in that. I'm telling you, when I went there and I was there for a week, this is what I did, okay? I would show up because it literally got dark in Idaho at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. No lie. No lie. I couldn't believe it either. Right? My first day, I got like maybe 2.5 hours of work because I was like, holy hell, it got dark already. But that's fine because I needed to do a lot of my work at nighttime too. So what I would do is I'd get up real early in the morning, because this is about a 2-hour drive from where I was staying to get to the location. And because of the 2-hour drive, that's why I would do what I did when I went there. And so what I would do is I would get up real early. I would haul ass down to Moscow, down to Pullman, go to different locations. Each day I had like an outline of things I needed to get done, and then the weekly outlines to make sure I got everything completed before I left. And so each day I had a certain amount of things that I needed to do before I could even go, because it's not like a thing where I would drive 15 minutes back to the hotel and then I'm like, shit, I forgot to do this. Well, here, let me go back out. I couldn't do that. So I had to be very organized and make sure that I knocked everything out when it came to all, because once I left I had to wait until the next day if I was going to do something. Now, what I would do is during, depending on what I had for that the outline for that day, a lot of the times I was in different locations, but 2/3 of the time I was literally just around the house documenting and doing different things. Now, every time, and I'm telling you, every time except for one time, that person was there, the green car. Every time, whether it was daytime, whether it was nighttime. So I would go do my location stuff, get that stuff done, come back to the back of the house. The back of the house of 1122 was my work area. So literally what I would do is, whether it was day or night, and most of the time it was at nighttime too, and this is what was crazy to me, and I mentioned it back then, because I still did live shows while I was out on location too. It was for the first year anniversary. I don't remember what episodes they were. 370, 380, somewhere around there. So what I would do is I would sit in that parking lot. I would have my computer out, and that's where I'd be doing all my work. Like I said, I had to make sure that I got all of my work done before I went back. A 2-hour drive, for the night. Now, a lot of these times, I would be sitting there at night because, like I said, at 4 o'clock, it gets dark. And so as I'm sitting back there, most of the time I'd be done with a lot of my work around 8 o'clock at night, somewhere around there. I'd get done with pretty much everything. And then I would sit back there, making sure that I got everything typed out, organized, filed, new outline. Maybe I might have had to push something back, whatever. I would sit back in that parking lot in the dark, like, you see how dark it is back there. And this was the thing, and this always stuck out to me too, because while I'm sitting there in my car, the car's running, it's dark, there's no lights, the laptop's up, sitting here right next to me on the armrest, and you got the screen's lit up, shining up on my face. I'm typing, and I'm sitting there for hours, and that was my work area. That's where I would sit and make sure all my work was done before I went back. So every single night that I was there, these people that lived there saw somebody, me, sitting in the vehicle running for hours, working on a computer in the dark, light shining up on my face, and nobody thought it was creepy. And that always stuck out to me. It always stuck out to me, especially with it being the 1-year anniversary of when everything took place. I was there from 11/8/23 to 11/15/23. I was there the frickin' year to the date. I went to the vigil at the university. That was an experience in its own. But when I'm sitting back there for hours and not one person's like, not one time did Moscow PD roll through. Not one time did anybody get out of their vehicle and look back at me, because I got that great peripheral vision. I can see stuff this way, like I can see it like it's straight ahead of me. That vision. And I'm sitting there working on my computer. I can watch somebody out the teeniest corner of my eye, make it look like I'm looking forward, but really I'm watching your ass sideways. And not one person turns around and looks as they're getting out of their car, turns around and looks at they're getting in their car. Nothing. Shuts their car. Now, when it comes to this green car, I've told you guys from those shows way back then when I was there, that's where I park. You can see in my footage, that's where I park. I park right next to the green car. Now, when you're looking at this photo and you're looking down and you see that blue car, you see the blue car that's on the bird's eye view when you're looking down where it was parked right there. That's where the green car was always parked. But the thing about the green car is I never seen a gentleman. It was always a female. But every time I would come there, what that person might have, most of the time was there. Sometimes they would, like I said, I'd be working on my computer. They'd come in and park literally right next to me because I parked in the same spot the whole time. They parked in the same spot the whole time. I can sit there and watch. Not one time did that person in the green car ever look at me or turn around or 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 say something to their neighbor or look out after they walked up to their door or anything like that. Which you can go back to my old shows. I'm sitting there going, this is weird, guys. Because if I would listen, if that crime forget the forget the fact that the crime took place. If somebody's coming in my neighborhood for days in a row, for hours in a row, sitting on a computer in the dark, light shining, I'm gonna be like, what the hell is that creep doing? What is that creep doing? Not one time. Mama J, member for 13 months. Why can't I cannot? I'm not sure. I don't know. YouTube being buggy, maybe? It should because Jennifer P actually gifted one a little bit ago, and thank you, Jennifer P, again as well, and thank you both. I appreciate it, and thanks for the support. Now, it is odd, right? But that was the thing. That person, I don't know. They never looked over. They never, and that was the one neighbor, because you saw all the other cars parked back there. That was the one neighbor that literally we parked right next to each other, and most of the time nobody parked to the left of me except for maybe one car, and that was 2 spots down. So really, anytime that I got there, I'm on the right side of the green car. I have 2 spots to the left of me that are open. I can open my door, set up my gear, go do my thing. Have plenty of room, even at nighttime. So we had the most interaction. And it was just, I just remember it always being weird. Like, I'm surprised because I would have been suspicious, especially a year to the date or the week of the crime taking place right there, and you got some weird person you ain't never seen before. You got a vehicle that normally never parked there, right? Normally never parked there. And there's, hey, what's going on? I don't know. That person did come in and out, but that's the thing. There's so much footage that I have to go through. There's so much footage that I have to go through. But I was there in the daytime. I was there in the nighttime. Like I said, I always parked there. And so there should be, I have to have other footage for sure with that vehicle. Especially in the daytime, because I know I have a lot of nighttime footage, but I have daytime footage too, that I just never really published. But I know, if you are a member, there is that footage of when I first showed up at 11:22, and they're probably on there too. I don't know. I haven't looked, but I'm gonna be going through that footage here to try and find out, just to try and help out whatever I can for Lana. And so yeah, we're gonna discuss that, the breakdown, and this new information. I don't know how they got this information, but you know what I'm saying. When it comes to like people that are Pullman and Moscow are the 2 littlest towns in the middle of frickin' nowhere, in the middle of rolling hills. Of course, these people are gonna have people that they're connected to on their phone. It's a small pool of people. What do you expect? You know, when it's a very small pool of people. It's not like you were living in the big city or anything. Yeah, I this is what I want to get into real quick when it comes to that vehicle, okay? Not this, not this, not this. I want to show you this photo. Let me show you this photo. Because this is why I did this video right here where it's not even a Hyundai Elantra, and this is when it comes to this video and when it comes to the photos, this is what I was saying back then. It doesn't matter what time a vehicle shows up. It don't. It don't matter what time. Listen, because these two cars don't even match. Okay? The vehicle leaving and entering, and let me switch to those real quick before we get into this trailer thing here. StreamYard changed a whole bunch of shit. All right. This is what I want to get into real quick first. And then contribution call out Moto, man. I'm not buying the story by day. It's good with, but right. This is regardless of that video. This is what I want to explain before we break it down. Okay. Because we've already discussed this a long time. We discussed this, and thank you again. We discussed this when these pictures came out. I told you guys these are two different vehicles, and this is what I want you to pay attention to, especially when it comes to the car leaving, okay? This is what I broke down before, and here's the video for that if you want to check it out, all right? But I'm going to give you a quick breakdown. I even told you what kind of vehicle it was. I honestly think it's a Dodge Dart that was leaving the scene of the crime, okay? And we'll get through it here in a second. But obviously, you can see the window. It looks like an Elantra, right? But that's fine. We're not. It's the car that is leaving the scene. The car that is leaving the scene. I don't care about this car because literally it could be any car pulling up, whatever. But listen, if this car right here looked like this one, then fine. Yeah, the video of the car coming up, of course, but these are two different vehicles. And as soon as these photos came out, this is what I'm breaking down for you. These are two different back windows. These are two different back windows, and you can see it on that link. These are two different back windows, and look at this backlight right here. There's no way that an Elantra illuminates. There's no way an Elantra illuminates going from the tail light going across. That's why I'm saying Dodge Dart. Another thing you want to pay attention to, look at the front lights, okay? Look at the front lights. Let me get a different picture for you. Hold on. There we go. This shows the front lights at the same time. All right, now this is the difference, okay? Look at the front lights, and this is what I broke down before. You see this car right here. The lights are shining up, straight ahead. Look at this car right here. You see this down here? This car has fog lights. The car leaving the scene of the crime has fog lights. This car don't have fog lights turned on. This one does. Plus, when you look at the texture of the vehicle, they're two different colors. Plus, when you're looking at... Whoops, hold on. Frickin' StreamYard, man. When you're looking at the height of the vehicle, okay? There's an incline as you're going up this road. You see how high the vehicle is? It's already right here at the top line of this building. Okay, pay attention to this, please. The top of the road goes up on an incline. This vehicle is already at the top line of this house. So when the vehicle gets here, it's already going to be higher because of the incline of the road. So the top of this vehicle is going to go above that line. Now, when you're looking at this vehicle and it's right here, you see how far it is away from that line. This vehicle, again, has fog lights, is low to the ground, is probably that soupy muffler that you heard flying all over around Grub Truck. And then when it comes to these rear lights, this is an important photo I want you to see, because when we're looking at how it has that continuous light source, that 1112 camera ain't creating that much light reflecting back. The light on the porch is not creating that much light reflection coming from the back of a Hyundai Elantra, because there's no reflectors back there. That's why Moscow PD first initially was looking for a Nissan Sentra, because when you're looking at a photo of a Nissan Sentra, let me pull up that real quick and show you the back end of that. When you're looking up a photo of a Nissan Sentra, this is what you see. You see something. This is why they were looking this up in the first place. For the first 2 weeks, Moscow PD was looking for a Sentra. Do you see how this light can create an oval at a certain angle, right? And then this chrome strip can create that light source that reflects back to the camera that looks like it's one continuous light source. Oval, continuous light source reflected from a porch light. When you're looking at the back of a Hyundai Elantra, where's that light source coming from? There is nothing on here in this license plate light. If that was the light source, you would see a blob, a little bit of light, a blob, a little bit of light. You don't. It's one continuous. It goes oval and then goes over. There is nothing on a Hyundai Elantra, whether it's the license plate bulb or this logo, is going to reflect that kind of light source on that camera. So when we go back to this photo, and I'm going to show you this again. So when we go back to this photo, oval, continuous light source. It's not even a Sentra. This is what it is. So when you're looking at, let me get where's another photo? I have another photo too. This is the vehicle, or somewhat looks like it, because also you look at the back window, excuse me, and I want to show you guys something, and you look at the back window. So you see this Dodge Dart. You got see how you got the oval, and then you got the continuous light source way back on that camera. it's going to look like it's together, like it's a strip that's together because the light is blending in with each other. You got the fog lights down here. You got the low profile, the fog lights, the tail light. And then specifically, look at this back window. You see how it's different than a Hyundai Elantra. The Hyundai Elantra looks like a squinty eye. It goes to the corner like a squinty eye. This is more of an open triangle, okay? So when we go back to this photo, if I can find it, there we go. So pay attention to that back window. You see how square open triangle it is. It's not like a squinty eye. It's not like a squinty eye. It's more like an open triangle. So then when you go back to this and you're looking at this photo and it's got that squinty eye, you come back to this one. You see that open triangle? It's not the squinty eye back window. You see that? This is more of a triangle. It's not a squinty eye. It's a triangle. So when you look at this back window, number one, it's already darker. That's obvious from the get-go. It's already a darker color. But when you're looking at, you got the fog lights. You got the low profile. Remember, look at how low we are to the house line compared to the Elantra. You see what I'm saying? You got a low profile, smaller car, as in skinnier, low profile, fog lights, continuous rear light, and a square back window. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the car. Square back window, continuous rear light. You see the oval? Pay attention to this right here. You see this oval and then how it comes up. This one goes straight across. This one starts down here, comes up, and then goes over. Let me show you another picture to show you what I'm talking about when it comes to that light. See what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Oval, straight on top, curves up and over. See what I'm saying? You got that? It's the same tail light. It's the same tail light. So if you want to, here's the video where I went through that. And I'll drop that link here. Hold on, it's making me go all the way again. Yeah, so when these photos dropped a while back, we already broke it down what vehicle was leaving, because listen, when there's the photo or the video that we're going to see that shows somebody coming in, listen, if it doesn't look like the car leaving, because what car do you really need to pay attention to? You can look at all these other cars coming in, they got to match. But if they don't match, you look for the car that's leaving during the crime scene. That's the one you got to look for. Here's the link for that. It's let me see here. Here's the link for that. That'll show you the whole breakdown, but I tried to do it as quick as possible. But we really broke it down. Yeah, shout out Sea Dog. We really broke it down. I played videos. I got a whole bunch of videos to show you guys what these taillights look like at night, from close to far away. It's exact copy. You got to check out that link. I went through a bunch of videos. I showed you guys different sounds of different engines, different types of systems that they have on there. You guys can compare the sounds of the mufflers to the sounds of the mufflers on all this other footage. You guys can compare the footage at night and what it looks like as it's driving away at whatever distance you want. I compiled all those things together so you guys could see that it was not an Elantra, especially when you're looking at that photo, because they're not even the same car. The car leaving is not the same car. The car leaving is not an Elantra. The car leaving is lower, fog lights, different back window, different tail lights. That's the car that I'm paying attention to, not the car that's coming in. I'm paying attention to the car that was leaving. Moto Man, contribution call out. The only consistent thing is that white truck parked by the intersection. That one, they were right. Oh, I got some pictures of that truck too, Moto Man, that we never went into. We never even got a chance to go into those because we were actually supposed to go into the truck stuff after this car stuff back then. Just we need a little more. But it's not an Elantra. The car leaving is a Dodge Dart. And let me zoom back and we'll show that photo one more time. And like I said, in that video link, I do break it down with the measurements and the visuals and the audio and all those different things so y'all can see that. All right, so let me see here. Let me get to this. 1 second. All right, let's go here. Now we're going to switch to this here. Now this is actually, let me go back to here. We'll just go back to here. This is, so here's that video, okay, that they released. Now, oh, exactly, Mama J. That's why that's why I continue to tell people, like, this isn't about somebody's name or somebody in particular. This is about the right person, and I'm sorry. When you have stuff like this, where it's obvious that they're two different vehicles, they're two different colors. They're two different colors. So when you have to question it. And then when it comes with this video, this is okay. It's getting too nuts. What's up, woke up? Everybody else, thank you. This is getting too nuts because there's got to be one person. There's got to be one person that is out there and has been out there from the very beginning, back when News Nation was going clickbait, at the end of 2022, in the beginning of 2023, is when News Nation specifically, everybody else had their own propaganda train, but News Nation was sticking to facts before that. And then all of a sudden, after this case came out, they just started going clickbaity like crazy. That's why we had to quit watching them in early 23 and taking them seriously, because they were getting all this information close to the investigation sources. And it was coming out, Ashley Banfield even admitted it a couple nights ago. Yeah, we got burned a lot of times, Brian. They were being told all this stuff. And you hear all this stuff that's being told to like Bloom and his woman bashing ass and all of these other content creators pushing this stuff out there. And it's like, then you got Dateline coming out with new information. Dude, where is it on the docket? It'll be coming soon, because it's going to happen like the 911 call. It was out a day or two before, and then it came in the document. It's going to be the same thing. Everybody's going to be able to get this video. They're just waiting for Dateline to be able to promote it, and then they'll put it out there, which is wrong, because if it's a gagged ordered case, well, then every person that is applying for this information should have equal opportunity, Dateline or not, DT or not, GH or not. So it makes me wonder. And then you got this stuff that's being told and promoted and stuff, and it's like, who is this person from the beginning when this, because I really even think they're part of Papa Roger, people. People want to compare Papa Roger to Brian Koberger. I honestly have felt this whole time that Papa Roger was fucking law enforcement. Push, narrative. It's like, what law enforcement person from the beginning, it was, and I really feel like it was their job to do this. This isn't somebody that's going rogue, sitting there going, there's somebody that's not going rogue. It was somebody from the very beginning that it's like, you know what? It's your duty to make sure that you talk. Yes, Heather. Yes, just to push the narrative. It's your duty to talk to the news sources. It's your duty to, source close to the investigation, which we've been hearing for 2.5 years. Source close to the investigation. No matter where it's at. Now it's Dateline. Here, we're going to make sure that you get the note under the door before everybody else gets it. We want to make sure that you're the one that's getting the attention, Dateline, because of your agenda and your narrative. Just like the 911 call. We want to make sure that the people that are pushing the certain narrative get the information first, so that way they have all the attention first before any other theories come out. We got to make sure what we want out there is out there for a couple days before everybody else gets attention about their other theories. Because damn, it don't work, does it? If people get the information at the same time and they have all these different thoughts, your narrative don't work, does it? Because somebody might come across a theory that doesn't match yours, and next thing you know, they're not even going to check out Dateline's theory. Oh, crap, no. We got to make sure that we have it out for a couple days just to make sure that the right thing gets put out there. Then the other narratives can go ahead and get discussed, because they're going to get discussed anyway. I want to know, because I really felt the same person that was talking to News Nation, Ashley Banfield, at the end of 2022 and the beginning of 2023, the one that she says burned her, I wonder What law enforcement was it that it was their job to give this information to Steve, to give this information to the news outlets, to give this information to certain people to make sure that the public prosecution takes place, even when in front of the public and their face is these photos where these vehicles don't even match? Because when there's no public pressure for the prosecution, more people question these photos. More people will question these photos. How anybody can sit there and think that these two vehicles are the same damn fucking car, I'm sorry. They're two different vehicles, two different bodies, two different heights, two different back windows, two different taillights. And I'm not worried about any other vehicle that was showing up, because honestly, from the first day that I went and sat back at the back of the house, the first time that I went and sat back at the back of that house and continued to do my work, when I was out there, that's when I started to go, it was an incel from the Queen Road apartments. Because that person would have had to park in that parking spot in order to go home. Because it's not that person. Why should they have to change their parking spot so they don't have to pull up and see the stuff that they want to do and have fun and be a part of, but they can't? And they have to come home and see it every single day. They can't even open their windows without hearing it coming through their window. Hell, when the windows are shut, they can hear the party and the fun take place. Boy, I'm sure they sat in their room night after night after night being so upset that they couldn't be a part of the party, that they would just sit there in their room. They can only turn up their music so loud to drown it out. They could only turn up their music so loud. And they're sitting there pulling their hair going, oh, this is not fair. And make faces like this. It's not fair. Propaganda. All right, let's get to this trailer here. We're going to show you this. Now, like I said, I'm telling you, the way that they reached it, and I'm going to show you, when it comes to what they were saying, especially about, when it comes to these photos and the connections. Come on now. Hold on. I have to adjust this camera. StreamYard. Hold on. You can't win for losing with these programs, man. All right. There we go. So we're going to check out the trailer here. This is the video of the vehicle. My bad. I meant to show this full screen for you guys real quick. I don't know why there we go. So this is the full video of it. Now, obviously, there's going to be a lot more, and they're even going to show that 3-point turn and everything. And it's like another thing, too. This is not a route of a person that's going to commit the crime. That you're already asking to get caught if you do a freaking 3-point turn at an intersection before you get you're already asking to get caught. So how you went in there like Batman, I don't know. To me, it's a lost DoorDash driver. The way that they stop at the T section, the way that they pull forward for a second and stop, and then it's because somebody couldn't find the fucking direction. A lost DoorDash driver Been saying it for years. So we're going to break this trailer down. It's wild, the stuff that they're... It's like, where did they get this information? And it's got to be the same person that has been putting out this information this whole time since Ashley Banfield at the end of 2022. Sources close to the investigation. Who is it? Because it's one person. I want to know who it is. All right, let's check this out. Hold on one second. I got to drop YouTube's video because it covers up. I've already made my... I'm sorry. I can't see your guys' comments because of this stupid Facebook thing. Listen, if you're on Facebook, if you're watching on Facebook, come on over to YouTube, or I'm over on Twitter. I got to shut the I just can't stream to Facebook. I'll just have to drop the videos from now on. This stupid message thing from StreamYard covers up all of my chat, and I can't even see any comments. There. There. Now I can see a couple comments. All right. Let me go back to your comments here. Sorry about that. And thank you all for being here. We're going to get into this. And yeah, it's a dodge dart. Just more propaganda and all the shit. Yeah. It's... Look at all this. Look at all the stuff. It is ridiculous. It is. All right, so here's the trailer. Now, check this out here.
In this house, just steps from campus, in the early morning hours of November...
By the way, I will, if you are a member, because I think I can get... I don't know. Dateline is a little iffy. Y'all know that I get the sneak peeks. You know I'm going to have the sneak peek of this episode, so look for it. Look for it. But it might have to be members. I apologize just because of... we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. But you know, the sneak peek will be coming Friday night. Trust me. Trust me. Trust me.
13th, 2022. 4 University of Idaho students, Maddie Mogan, Kaylee Gonsalves, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin, were stabbed to death. Their accused killer, Brian Koberger, faces trial this summer. He's pleaded not guilty. For the last 2.5 years, Dateline has been on the ground, reporting, gathering, and learning from people with direct knowledge of the case. We've obtained things that have never before been seen.
The direct knowledge of it's all this source close to the Who are you? Who are you? You snaky bastard. Who are you? I have an idea, but I'm not saying the name. Or the agency. Woo! Got walking on glass, man.
On the ground, reporting, gathering, and learning from people with direct knowledge of the case. We've obtained things that have never before been seen publicly. Like these security videos from a camera on a house near the murder scene. Videos that show a white sedan, a car that investigators believe was driven by Brian Koberger, making repeated passes at the King Road house that night before the murders. With evidence like this and our reporting, we have assembled a timeline for the weeks, months, and days before and after the murders.
So they assembled a timeline. Dateline did. You see what I'm saying? Dateline assembled a timeline after they talked to the investigator that will not be named. Oh my gosh. You see why? everybody's going to be paying attention to this first for the first day or two, and then Monday the documents are going to come out. Or hold on. Or maybe tomorrow morning, actually. Tomorrow morning. No, because it won't be morning. It'll be in the afternoon. It'll probably be around 5 o'clock Central. 4 or 5 o'clock Central. Documents will come out either Friday or Monday. And this video will be flowing all over the airwaves. But they got to make sure that timeline. Steve Morrison, man. He's a legend. These people can make, woo, it's crazy. Oh, hey, cotton balls at the bottom of a cliff. Okay. Mama J. I mean, who knows? I honestly think it was law enforcement, though. Because I think it was law enforcement. You want to know who I think it was? Let me show you a picture. This is who I think it was. That was because you remember Papa Roger would get upset when people were like, well, I think it happened like this. No, fuckface. Whoa, dude. Whoa. You know, they like, no, I think this person was first. Hell no, they weren't, you idiot. It's like, damn, Papa Roger, why are you so angry, buddy? Why are you so angry? So what law enforcement do I think would get that upset? Because listen, they're the ones that came out with the sheath being left behind first. That's why I thought it was law enforcement. But what law enforcement would get that upset? Because listen, if a law enforcement was trying to put out a narrative and they're like, yeah, the sheath was left behind, it happened this person first, this person, this is how they did it, they went through this room and this, and then somebody was like, well, I think they went like this. Dude, there's a dime a dozen of those people, okay? Like, let's be real. So why would somebody get that upset? You catch me? Why would somebody get that upset because somebody said it was another way? No, somebody that has some fucking mental health damn anger issues. Why? Maybe because they're scared that their secrets are gonna come out and they're fucking spazzing. Who is that person, I think? This person right here. The nice little selfie with the mask that the killer supposedly wore with Moscow in the backdrop. This is one of your Moscow Police Department officers here. This is one of your officers that is right here. That's the same person that's going to get upset. Who's the one that's going to get upset? Think about it. Who's the one that's going to get upset when you don't agree with how it went down? The person that committed the crime. That's the person that's going to get that upset. Law enforcement ain't... Listen, you could sit there and put it out. Why would they get that upset? You're talking about rage. Did you see rage in Papa Roger? Oh, hell yeah, you saw rage in Papa Roger. No, this isn't Rosie. You saw rage in Papa Roger. No, this is it. Xana was first. Shut the fuck up. The person that committed the crime is going to get that upset. that you're not sticking to what it did, what happened, how it went down. I was there. I know. Don't tell me what you think, because I know. I just can't tell you I was the one that did it. But what I can tell you is that I left the sheath behind. How would they know that the sheath was left behind before anybody else? Because they knew about it. How did they know about it? No, this is not Rosie, but it is one of your Moscow Police Department officers. With a nice little backdrop of Moscow in the background. And honestly, I wonder if this was after something took place. You see what I'm saying? What is more? Can you imagine? Think about this. You go and commit the crime. You know that your DNA is going to be excluded. Why? Because you're going to be a first responder the next morning. Whose DNA gets excluded automatically without even checking twice? Law enforcement. Oh yeah, that's so-and-so's DNA. Yeah, he's obviously his is there because he's an officer. Your DNA gets excluded right away. So you can literally, listen to this. I just committed this crime. I know I'm going to get away with it because I left a sheath, and my DNA is going to be excluded the next day because I'm going to be a first responder showing up. So why don't I stop by off this hill and take this little selfie? So that way when I go back to my social media page and I look at this photo, that's the Moscow sky with fresh blood floating, going up to heaven. Just look at that. You want to talk about bushy eyebrow? Who's got bushy eyebrows? You want to talk about you can only see one eye? You want to talk about the kind of mask? You want to talk about the kind of protection that you can make sure you get away? What, a bulletproof vest? Oh, I got the gear to make sure that nothing happens to me. And then my DNA will be excluded the very next day because I know that at 7 o'clock in the morning, I got to show up for my shift. So, Papa Rogers, who knows? But I honestly feel like Papa Rogers was law enforcement, and I honestly feel, well, you saw what I just explained. Who would have the most rage? Who would have the rage to even, so what if somebody else, you know how many people, hell, you know how many content creators make up their own videos about who did what? Is there a reason to get mad about it? No, there's no reason to get mad about it. But yet Papa Rogers would fly off the handle. That's passion. That's rage. It is crazy. All of the unknown DNA, the unknown male DNA, the unknown male DNA. Let's not even test the mattress where. Hey, listen, when you're showing up DNA dirty gloves, what do you expect? when you're showing up and you got on drone video, and you got these people. You got these people handling the crime scene. I'm sorry. If you want to see that video, this has the drone. This has the drone footage, and then I show you the footage of them actually investigating the crime scene inside too, so you know exactly who the hell's touching what. You know who's touching what. You know, I mean, hello. You see them all in there investigating forensic. They're picking up the items from the crime scene. They're touching it. And when you see this video right here, and you see the drone footage, and you see everything that takes place with these damn gloves, and then the gloves that they touch with, and they go in there and yeah. Just think, if you touched up, listen, you see the gloves she's wearing right now? Imagine, because if it's dirty DNA, it's already on the ground. Lady's stepping on it, right? To you, it's poo. It's your dog poo. That's how contaminated that glove is on the ground. It's your dog poo. Are you literally going to take the glove that you have on, pick up the dog poo, put the dog poo in a trash bag, and then continue to touch all your equipment and everything with your dog poo gloves? No. So why would you do it with DNA dirty gloves as well? There's the video link for that. All right, back to this trailer. There's sources. Oh my gosh. I can't wait. We'll be dropping sneak peek of this. Trust me. I'll have it ASAP. I might even do it live in a particular location, maybe Twitch. I don't know.
Passes at the King Road house that night before the murders.
Because I will have it live for you guys. But normally I don't, just out of respect for the news agencies and whatever. But this one, I might go live, do like a live party on another platform like Twitch or something. So if I get in trouble, it ain't. Speaking of, if you're on Twitch, EvilleCJ, follow me. I think that's what I might do. Is I might do it live on Twitch, and I might do a sneak peek on YouTube later on or something.
The murder scene, videos that show a white sedan, a car that investigators believe was driven by Brian Koberger, making repeated passes at the King Road house that night before the murders. With evidence like this and our reporting, we have assembled a timeline for the weeks, months, and days before and after the murders. Starting with a pool party Koberger attended in July, just after he moved to the area in pursuit of his PhD in criminology. An exclusive interview with a woman who exchanged numbers with Koberger, then did not return his text.
You know, the universe intervened and for whatever reason just distracted me from further engaging in that interaction.
We'll also reveal records from Koberger's cell phone that are in the possession of law enforcement and Google searches regarding the serial killer Ted Bundy. We have also seen these: dozens of photos in Koberger's cell phone, browsing history, women from Washington State and the University of Idaho, including...
Who's that? I mean, this is the twist. We're going to show photos. Dude, let me just do a bird's eye view here. Yeah. Oh, watermelon time, right? Okay. Let me show you something. All right. Okay. Here's the map. Let's switch to the bigger screen. So here's the map. All right. You got Moscow. You got Pullman. You got Big Brother Pullman. You got Little Brother Moscow over here. Okay. Look, watch. It's a whole bunch of nothing. Little teeny nests, little teeny towns. Oh, how many people we got living in Albion? We don't know. We don't even have photos for Albion. What about Armstrong? Not sure. Doesn't, where's the Google photos of landmarks? We don't have any. What about Wheeling? Oh, nothing, just a zip code. What about Madsen? Just a zip code. Union Center? Just a zip code. Ewartsville? Just a zip code. Staley? Just a zip code. Blaine? No. Joel? Nothing. Howell? Nothing. Let's scoot back. Shawnee? Nothing. Viola? Nothing. Nora? Even Troy? Troy has a picture of a bike pump. Okay. Kendrick, we got a picture of a rusty silo. All right. Johnson, nothing. Mayview, nothing. Mokanima, nothing. There's a bunch of nothing around here. What do you expect? You think Brian Koberger is going to look for a lady friend in Union Center? Of course not. He's going to who's going to pop up on your algorithm feed? People from Pullman and Washington. Not Makinoma. It's not happening. Browsing history. Oh my gosh, we heard about Amazon click data, didn't we? Do you really have to click on something for it to be click data? No. Do you even have to be looking at it for it to be click data? No. Could you literally have an algorithm-based app send you suggestions based off of what it wants to send you, and it can be considered click data? Yes. So when you're looking at this connections to the victims, okay, connections to the victims? Oh, you mean the click data that can literally pop up if you're on a dating app? No. Maybe he was on a dating app because he met the girl at the pool party. And right, he's a college dude. I mean, if he's talking to the pool lady, the girl at the pool, he's obviously trying to mingle. Of course. So when it comes to this information, you know what? When I learned, when I heard, and when I read that Amazon click data can literally be suggested, Facebook, hey, thank you for the sub on Twitch. I think I might do that. Stay tuned. But it's like, hey, you might like so-and-so. Hey, you might be connected to so-and-so. I didn't click on your shit. Does that mean that it means that, yeah, CJ clicked on her profile? The fuck I did. What are you talking about? That's click data. Oh, hell no. So this right here, it's like, come on. And then they're showing you pictures that have the victims in it, but yet subliminally telling you people that were connected to. Of course. It's a small ass town. They're two small ass towns. Do you not think anybody from a town, listen, anybody in chat that's living in a town that has 30,000 people, tell me this right now, and I guarantee I'm right. Anybody that's living in a community that has 20, 30,000 or less, hell, you could have 5,000, 30,000 and under, do you not know everybody in your effing town? Is there not some connection to everybody in your town? So when you're looking at 11,000 students at the University of Moscow, a little bit more at Washington State University, and you're only talking that many people. Do you honestly think that not everybody has crossed paths with one another? And of course, they're going to be connected. They go to the same damn school. Yes, they're going to be connected. They go to the same school. It's not like you're talking Chicago, where there's how many community colleges and different colleges right there. You're talking one college, 11,000 students. Oh, damn, 700 peeps, Mark and Betty? That sounds awesome, though. But you're talking about that low a population. How? How not? Of course these people are going to be connected. Of course these people are going to be getting suggestions. And there can only be so many. And I'm sure in that town, if you're on those kind of things, I'm sure you get duplicates. You get it multiple times because what else are they going to give you? You know what I'm saying? What else are they going to give you? The whole algorithm based. And then this right here. Lady, I'm happy. I have to say this. For you to sit there and think that that text message was creepy, I'm so happy that you didn't have to experience a piece of shit like a lot of these women out here have. Because if you really think that that text message is creepy from Koberger, then I'm so happy that you haven't had to experience a lot of the pieces of shit that most females have. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing that you're that naive to think that that is the worst thing that could happen when you get a text message. It's a good thing because it means that you haven't had to experience that. I've heard a lot of stories, a lot of DV victims, the ones that, especially the ones that we go out there on location and they tell me their stories off the mic. Shit's wild. So thank God you never had to experience anything like that, lady. Creepy text. Just wait.
Engaging in that interaction.
We'll also reveal records from Koberger's cell phone that are in the possession of law enforcement and Google searches regarding the serial killer Ted Bundy. We have also seen these. Dozens of photos in Koberger's cell phone. Browsing history. Women from Washington State and the University of Idaho, including close friends of the King Road victims. Dateline has also obtained records showing the details of what an FBI cell phone expert has claimed to be in the month before the murders.
Oh, is that your leak? Mr. Balance? Is Mr. Balance your leak?
Road victims. Dateline has also obtained records showing the details of what an FBI cell phone expert has claimed to be in the month before the murders.
There you go. Mr. Morrison just dropped it. Mr. Morrison just dropped. Did he even pay attention? Because most of the time, these people have their interns writing up their intros and all that other stuff. They'll like jot it down and they're like, here, intern, sift through it. Come out with a speech. I wonder, he just told on balance. I wonder if he even realizes he just told on balance because he's trying to create the suspense.
Road victims. Dateline has also obtained records showing the details of what an FBI cell phone expert has claimed to be in the month before the murders. 23 occasions when Koberger's phone connected to a cell tower, providing coverage to within 100 meters of the house at 1122 King Road. And in the hours after the murders, details of the timing of phone calls Brian Koberger made to a phone linked to his parents, just before the controversial selfie he took.
Right, because remember, it was supposedly for his mom. It was a birthday gift from his mom. You know what? You know what I do when I get a birthday gift from my mom? I call her. I call her. Hey, honey, did you get that sweater I gave you in the mail? Yes, Mom, thank you. He called his a phone connected to his parents right before he took the photo. Dude, I need my own damn I need my own damn website so I can just say whatever the F I want and not have to worry about getting in trouble from YouTube or other directions, you know? Because there's so much I want to say right now. Right, Mama J? Right? It's like, you know, it's like, yeah, he committed the. I'm going to tell you right now, when we're looking at, here, let me pull up this photo. When we're looking at this photo of Brian Koberger, when we're looking at this photo of Brian Koberger, I'm not seeing. I don't understand how this person. Oh, that's Lion Bloom. I don't see how this person would have the dexterity to commit that crime. I'm not. Look at how malnourished he looks. Lion Bloom. Not in Bloom. Shout out Nirvana. Love ya. Lion Bloom. But this dude would not even have the dexterity to commit this crime. Look at how fragile and malnourished he looks. There's no way. There's no way he would have the dexterity. There's no way. Look at how fragile he looks. Look at me. Look at me. Trying to match my face here. Dude looks malnourished, yo. The dude's not going to have that kind of dexterity to go in there. There's no way. There's no way. So, of course, he called his mom or dad right before. These people, I swear, this is what's crazy to me. You know, you got all of these people. You got all of these people, these investigators for all these years and the accolades and the degrees and all this other stuff. And you're going, how in the hell can you not wake the F up? You're really that sucked in to the narrative?
Made to a phone linked to his parents just before the controversial selfie he took. And we'll talk to the mother whose daughter was supposed to be staying in the house the night of the murders, but a change of plans may have saved her daughter's life.
May have, it did. Because if she's hanging out with Maddie, yeah. And then the mother of the friend. Okay, so is the friend not going to be called up either? I guess not. Isn't it crazy? All of a sudden, these people have waited all of this time. People have waited over 2 years to come out and say something. And all of a sudden, 2 months, 3 months before trial, all of a sudden they're coming out talking? What? There's something wrong here. If people are going to come out and talk, they're going to come out and talk right away. They're not going to wait 2 years and then a couple months before trial's supposed to start. Oh, hey, guess what? I got something to say now. No.
Selfie he took. And we'll talk to the
It's
mother
all
whose
weird.
daughter was supposed to be staying in the house the night of the murders. But a change of plans may have saved her daughter's life.
How soon was it that you thought, my God, she was going to be there?
I didn't think about that right away.
Huh.
All I could think about was the kids.
Makes you sad too, doesn't it?
Does. Sorry.
So many damaged families. Angela Nevejas told us that her daughter Ashlyn, Maddie Mogan's best friend, moved away from Idaho and now refuses to come home to visit because of the trauma associated with the murders. She's hoping.
Yeah, because nobody wants to come back to the damn spot where listen, I was out there. I talked to these people. Brian Koberger? They don't know who the F he is. And they definitely think it was more than one. That's the crazy thing. I was there for 5 days. I was there for 5 days before the vigil took place. Okay? Let me set the scene. So I was there for 5 days out of the week already. Then the vigil took place. Okay? I had already talked to people for 4 or 5 days already about who they thought, what they thought, how many, if they even think they got the right person, all of these different things. And then I show up to the vigil, just like everybody else. You guys saw how dark it is on TV. Well, guess what? It was a hell of a lot darker in real life. When I'm standing there at that vigil at the University of Idaho with all of the students there, and I'm looking around and I'm going, where is the lighting? Where is the lighting? It was so dark. And you know what I did? I had my hands on my weapon because I literally felt like the person, and this was the feeling in the air. It was like, you know what? It is so dark right here. And this person would probably come back, and you never frickin' know. And if I can't see that good, I need to make sure that I'm going to be prepared as soon as possible. And I'm sitting there going, I'm looking at everybody, trying to picture people in my head, because how in the hell are you supposed to give a description of somebody when you can barely even see because it's so damn dark and there's no lighting that they had set up for it except for the main stage, which was barely any lighting at all anyway. You guys saw it on video. Barely at all. Shit was scary, man. And they could have just walked up and how is somebody going to get a good description? It was so scary what the university did. This guy is just, man, these people, they're just sucked into this crap. It's crazy.
That her daughter, Ashlyn, Maddie Mogan's best friend, moved away from Idaho and now refuses to come home to visit because of the trauma associated with the murders. She's hoping some of that may change and Ashlyn will start to grieve after Brian Koberger's trial. Back to you, Greg and Savannah.
Such a heartbreaking story, Keith. Thank you. And we know we'll have more on Dateline. We'll look forward to that. I want to turn now to NBC senior legal correspondent Laura Jarrett, who's here. You follow this very closely, too. And now we're starting to see some of the case that the prosecution plans to present. What do you think is the significance and how compelling will it be to a jury?
Yeah, there's no question. You can't watch that and not think the prosecution has a very strong case here. But there are defenses that Koberger's team can offer. It's just a question if the jury finds them convincing. So on the white sedan, for instance, nobody sees Koberger get in and out of that car. Nobody even sees him leave the house. All you have is a surviving roommate seeing bushy eyebrows, but not actually IDing Koberger there. On the cell phone tower, they can put up an expert to say cell phone towers are not that accurate. We already know that they're going to say he liked to drive around at night. And so there's nothing that suggests that he was actually casing the joint, as that's basically the prosecution's theory there. Googling Ted Bundy, that does not look good, right? Objectively, that does not look good.
Okay, this is what I gotta say this because we're all in trouble, people. we are in trouble. All right. I wonder, and when we're talking SKs, we're talking killers, we're talking kidnappers, we're talking all sorts of stuff that this is the community. Think about this. We're all in trouble. The community. Can you imagine, how many serial killers I looked up? You know how many serial killers I looked up? My gosh, it's your job to fight crime. You went to school with somebody that teaches about it. You're not going to look it up? Let me learn about peanut butter and jelly, but damn, don't look up the peanut butter and jelly. Don't look it up. I'm going to learn about it, but don't look it up. Right, Aaliyah? This is what I'm saying. These freaking experts with the degrees and the books and all this other. Where in the hell? Like, this is the cotton balls at the bottom of the cliff. Oh, my Lord. Coming soon for your health and your heart, okay? Oh, my Lord. This is too much. This is too much. These are experts.
Say cell phone towers are not that accurate. We already know that they're going to say he liked to drive around at night. And so there's nothing that suggests that he was actually casing the joint, as that's basically the prosecution's theory there. Googling Ted Bundy, that does not look good, right? Objectively, that does not look good, but he's a criminology student, and it's not a crime to Google serial killers.
Laura Jarrett doing her best defense attorney this morning. And you find in trials, any particular piece of evidence can be batted down, but sometimes it's the totality of the evidence.
Of course, the biggest piece is that his DNA is found in the crime scene, and the defense is going to have to try to explain that, according to prosecutors.
What about motive, Laura? The fact that even now, a couple years after the murders themselves, no motive has been presented.
I think I've always found that curious. Jurors like to attach to a story, and I think they're going to want to at least hear what the...
Well, according to Lion Bloom, he knows the motive, and oh my gosh, isn't it crazy the amount of people that are literally oh my gosh, his fascination with his professor. His fascination with his professor. It's so sad what this man did to Dr. Catherine Ramsland's name, reputation, career. It's very sad what this man did. Because there's some sick people out there. And these same sick people are going to blame Dr. Catherine Ramsland for those 4 beautiful souls losing their life. Well, if Catherine Ramsland wasn't around, then maybe Brian Kohberger wouldn't have had the initiative to go do it. That's wrong. That is so wrong. And you know how there's some sick-ass people out there that'll sit there and blame her. I feel so bad for her, man. And then for him to go, I heard you writing a book. You're going to have a chapter on BK. Can't wait. When she never even said she was writing a book. You victim bashing bastard motherfucker. I better... Fucking YouTube, man. I'm just going to shut up. All right, we'll get back to this. Oh, God, I swear.
State has to offer on that. And I think by the time we get to trial, prosecutors are going to have something. Was it stalking? Did he target them? They're going to want to understand what the prosecution...
Wait a minute. I thought he stalked him 23 times. Senior legal analyst. I thought they stalked him 23 times. Stalked the house 23 times. We're going to promote this other stuff, but we don't even... Oh, my Lord. This is... I wish I could even more, Aaliyah. I really need to figure out Rumble. Because I haven't figured Rumble out yet. And really... I've had to keep my mouth shut multiple times tonight just because... Oh gosh, I would love to just go unfiltered, man. It'd probably be a different kind of talk show though, honestly, because I am very filtered when it comes to this platform. You can't be unfiltered on this platform. There's no way. You become unfiltered, you lose your fucking shit. You lose your channel. There's certain things you can't even talk about, period. Rumble? I really need to figure that out because that's what I should just... Boy. Oh my God, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine if I could just say how I really truly felt and what I thought and just let it you know. Oh man, to sit there, to be able to sit there and say things without even sitting there going, okay, make sure you don't go that far, you know. Just let it. Oh man, I need to figure that out because this right here, you're gonna promote all this stuff, but you're not gonna bring up the 23 times that he supposedly stalked the house. But you're like, well, they got to show stalking and da 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 da. Lady, I thought you were the senior legal correspondent that's talking all this about the case. I mean, here, let's ask all these questions to this lady here, right?
We'll have more on Dateline. We'll look forward to that. I want to turn now to NBC senior legal correspondent Laura Jarrett, who's here. You follow this very closely too, and now we're starting to see.
Followed very close. Yes, ask me all the questions because I know. Really?
some of the case that the prosecution plans to present. What do you think is the significance and how compelling will it be to a jury?
Yeah, there's no question. You can't watch that and not think the prosecution has a very strong case here. But there are defenses that Koberger's team can offer. It's just a question if the jury finds them convincing. So on the white sedan, for instance, nobody sees Koberger get in and out of that car. Nobody even sees him leave the house. All you have is a surviving roommate seeing bushy eyebrows, but not actually IDing Koberger there. On the cell phone tower, they can put up an expert to say cell phone towers are not that accurate. We already know that they're going to say he liked to drive around at night. And so there's nothing that suggests that he was actually casing the joint, as that's basically the prosecution's theory there. Googling Ted Bundy, that does not look good, right? Objectively, that does not look good, but he's a criminology student, and it's not a crime to Google serial killers.
Laura Jarrett doing her best defense attorney this morning.
Yeah.
And you know,
Devil's advocate.
you find in trials, you know.
Devil's advocate? Because she said what was real? Oh, you're being a defense attorney this morning. Yeah, devil's advocate. Wow, dude.
Googling Ted Bundy, that does not look good, right? Objectively, that does not look good, but he's a criminology student, and it's not a crime to Google serial killers.
Laura Jarrett doing her best defense attorney this morning. And you know,
Devil's advocate.
you find
Devil's advocate. Dude, my God, these people, it's bad when the people that are feeding most of the information are the cotton balls at the bottom of the cliff people. Yeah, go ahead and jump off the cliff. There's cotton balls down there. Really? Are you sure? Yeah, trust me. Well, I don't want to get hurt. Trust me, there's a bunch of cotton. It's going to be fluffy. It's going to be soft. You'll giggle when you hit the bottom. Oh, okay. Okay. Boom. Well, he said there was cotton balls. That's bad when those are the people that are feeding most of the information to the country.
in trials, you know, any particular piece of evidence can be batted down, but sometimes it's the totality of the evidence.
Of course, the biggest piece is that his DNA is found in the crime scene, and the defense is going to have to try to explain that, according to prosecutors.
What about motive, Laura? The fact that even now, a couple years after the murders themselves, no motive has been presented.
I think I've always found that curious. Jurors like to attach to a story, and I think they're going to want to at least hear what the state has to offer on that. And I think by the time we get to trial, prosecutors are going to have something. Was it stalking? Did he target them? They're going to want to understand what the prosecution's theory is. Why did he pick these particular students?
But they don't have, do they have to?
No,
Okay.
they do not have to offer a motive. We should be clear about that. That's not a part of the case, but I'm just saying as they're laying it out to flesh it out, they might want to.
Makes sense, Laura.
Yeah.
Really? Oh, he had a kill kit. The house was a target. All of these different things, and no motive. And especially this right here, the whole friend connection.
King Roadhouse that night before the murders. With evidence like this and our reporting, we have assembled a timeline for the weeks, months, and days before and after the murders. Starting with a pool party Koberger attended in July, just after he moved to the area in pursuit of his PhD in criminology. An exclusive interview with a woman who exchanged numbers with Koberger, then did not return his text.
You know, the universe intervened and for whatever reason just distracted me from further engaging in that interaction.
We'll also reveal records from Koberger's cell phone that are in the possession of law enforcement and Google searches regarding the serial killer Ted Bundy.
So how in the hell did Dateline get records when it comes to the cell phone expert, the same cell phone expert that's going to be testifying in the trial? How does Dateline, number one, get text message records, also get cell phone records, also gets all of this information, because he tells you right here, gets all of this information from a certain agency? How are they getting this information before the public? We should all be getting this information at the same time. Just because your Dateline doesn't mean that you get a hall pass to sneak through first. That's not how this works. If it's gagged for a reason. When it's released and unsealed, then it's unsealed. There's not some process where Dateline gets to have it unsealed for a day or two, or a family member gets to have it unsealed for a day or two, or another content creator gets to have it unsealed for a day or two. This is where you know that manipulation is taking place. Because when not everybody has the same opportunity at the same exact time to have the same unsealed information, that tells you right there that there's a reason why certain areas or avenues are getting the information first. Because we have to make sure that this gets the attention first. That way it's always in somebody's head. Because shame on us if we don't succeed in making sure that what we're trying to have out there is already implanted in somebody's brain. And you don't know if it'll implant in somebody's brain if they already come across another theory. But you do, even if they don't believe it, you do when you become the only source before other people, when this is not how gag orders work. This is not how unsealed information works. This is not how it's supposed to work. That's how you know manipulation is taking place. And he says right here who's given him the information. You want to know this source that they were talking to? Yeah, we've been on there since the very beginning. Guess what? We have too. We're talking to us. We got details. Now we have a timeline. And oh wait, I can't wait. I bet you that person was sitting there with you, giving you the information to give you the timeline that you're supposed to put out there. Because how in the fuck are you supposed to know what cell records look like, Keith Morrison? Cast data. How do you know what cast data is? What do you think they did to Brett Payne? They did the same thing to Brett Payne that they did to you, Keith Morrison. They said, look, this is what it says. I know it's confusing and it's hard to understand, and you never went to school for it, but it's okay. Just trust me. This is what it means. After our investigation, we got our timeline together. Okay.
Woman who exchanged numbers with Koberger then did not return his text.
You know, the universe intervened and for whatever reason just distracted me from further engaging in that interaction.
We'll also reveal records from Koberger's cell phone that are in the possession of law enforcement and Google searches regarding the serial killer Ted Bundy. We have also seen these: dozens of photos in Koberger's cell phone, browsing history, women from Washington State and the University of Idaho, including close friends of the King Road victims. Dateline has also obtained records showing the details of what an FBI cell phone expert has claimed to be in the month before the murders. 23 occasions.
There you go. Mr. Detail Expert Aficionado. And how in the hell did they get the information before other people. That's not how gag orders work. Not at all. Here's let me see here. I wanted to share this video here. I mean, look at this right here. Hold on. This is even law and crime. Talking about, oh, there's new information that's being released, new evidence. So let's check this out real quick.
When emotional evidence or picture evidence comes in that a neurotypical person will react to, he will not react. And that is only because he has a physical disability.
After hearing about Bryan Kohberger's autism and OCD, prosecutors in his death penalty case want their own experts to evaluate him, but it's been kept under wraps until now. I take a look at what prosecutors wanted and what they're getting, along with a big decision on whether Kohberger's family will be allowed in court during the trial and how serial killer Ted Bundy could come into play.
I know there's a lot of people going, how could they even have to have a... because Ashley Jennings was trying to make... Remember in the court hearing, it's not that they didn't want his family in it because it's his family. I mean, nobody should have a court hearing for that, obviously. But what it's about is it's about Ashley Jennings was supposed to come up with proof as to why they couldn't. Remember the court hearing, judge was like, well, can't they testify? If they're not going to be allowed to be in the court hearings, then can we have them testify in the beginning so that way it would allow them to be in the court hearings? And Ashley Jennings was like, well, it's, it's not ideal for us, because we have a particular outline in order that we want to stick to. And so the judge is like, okay, well, go ahead, give me your documents of, why you need it to be the way that you need it, and we'll go ahead and rule. The thing is they never gave it up. They never could give any kind of legitimate reasons for that. That's why the family was allowed. So it's not like this was, I think that's where some people are getting confused. It's not like this was a court hearing to see if a particular family people could be allowed. Just in general, that's not what it was about. It was about Ashley Jennings saying that she was going to potentially call one of the family members to testify. And in that situation, that's where they wouldn't be able to. So it wasn't a general thing. It was actually a thing that the prosecution was trying to do, and they didn't turn in their homework in time. And so therefore, the judge went ahead and decided with the defense when it came to Bryan Kohberger's family. So, just in case anybody was confused about that, that's the reason why they were having the decision about that is because of that alone, about the whole witness testifying part.
Welcome to Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. There are a few new developments in Bryan Kohberger's death penalty case. Some are coming out of court, while others are coming from new reporting from an episode of Dateline NBC airing this week. More on that later. For a while there, we were getting a really good look at what was...
Yeah, new details from a particular source that tends to... talk a whole bunch.
Going on in Kohberger's case in Idaho because Judge Hippler told both sides they needed to be more careful about what they filed under seal. Then earlier this week, Judge Hippler held a sealed closed hearing where the public wasn't allowed in. It was all over the prosecution asking for a mental evaluation of Bryan Kohberger ahead of his trial. Jury selection in the quadruple murder trial is scheduled to begin in less than 3 months. It's a death penalty case, and that makes it more involved, more complex. And there will be a lot of experts testifying about everything from DNA and his car make and model to cell phone evidence. But now prosecutors have asked Judge Hippler to allow their own expert to perform a mental evaluation on Bryan Kohberger as they prepare for a possible.
So basically, it sounds like it's going to be, I haven't checked the latest documents. It sounds like it's going to be approved that they can't have any lawyers. They can watch over a live feed. So the prosecution is going to have their own medical experts examine Bryan Kohberger, which they should. You know what I'm saying? It's only fair. The defense had them. You know, the prosecution could too. The thing is that no lawyers on that side are going to be able to be in the room. Now, Thompson and Jennings can watch from a live Zoom feed. So they're going to be able to see and watch it, but they won't be in the presence of it. So therefore, it's not to manipulate the situation or make it uncomfortable or anything like that. And so that's what's going to be taking place with that
possible penalty phase in the trial. Bryan Kohberger's lawyers have said in recent hearings he maintains his innocence in the murders of Maddie Mogen, Kaylee Gonsalves, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin in November of 2022. Those 4 University of Idaho students were brutally stabbed to death in a home near campus in Moscow.
Okay. This is so crazy.
Investigators said that they linked Kohberger to the crime after finding a single male DNA profile.
All right, so let me skip ahead. We're good, and I'll drop the link for the whole episode. We're going to skip ahead to this right. We're going to skip ahead to this.
Hippler is only giving prosecutors a brief extension of time to file their expert opinion because the expert they had initially
Mama J, as far as I know, I know the defense lawyers, I don't know if they can be, I think it's that, I'd have to double check. I'm pretty sure that they're only going to be able to watch through live feed, but at the same time, I think that they're going to allow one in there in case a question is asked that is not allowed, so to speak. Kind of like a security guard, I guess. Not like for the trial. Like, you can't ask that question, that kind of stuff. But these guys, they're not able to be in the room. It's going to be the prosecution's medical examiner. These guys are not going to be allowed in the room. They're only going to be able to watch a Zoom feed. But I'd imagine they would have to have some kind of defense lawyer on his side in case something gets asked that's not supposed to, or if something goes sideways, I don't know. I would imagine they would have to, though.
Withdrew from the case over disagreements with prosecutors about counsel being present and personality testing. The state's expert will not be able to evaluate Bryan Kohberger for personality disorders. Hippler wrote in a footnote, one of defendant's forensic psychiatrists, Dr. Eileen Ryan, concluded in her expert report that defendant does not have a childhood history of behavior that is consistent with conduct disorder or antisocial personality disorder in adulthood, nor does he meet criteria for antisocial personality disorder. Antisocial personality disorder used to be called psychopathy. Since Kohberger wasn't evaluated for personality disorders by his experts, Hippler said there's nothing for prosecutors to rebut on that front. And Hippler said letting prosecutors go down that road with Kohberger could possibly violate his Fifth Amendment rights and just open up a big can of worms.
I want to bring in somebody who...
Right, and that's why I think that they would have to allow somebody in there to go, no, you can't ask that. You can't. Have you ever had thoughts of killing 4 people with a knife? You know what I mean? You can't ask that, man. You can't ask that question. So I can imagine that they're gonna have some kind of, representation, just to make sure things don't go sideways. You know what I'm saying? I could definitely see that. But when it comes to the prosecution, no. No. They're not going to be able to be in there. No.
Who has prosecuted death penalty cases. He is Mark Weaver. He's also a former Deputy Assistant Attorney General out of the state of Ohio. So, Mark, we have a sealed motion here by the prosecution in Bryan Kohberger's case. And they're saying, we want a mental evaluation of Bryan Kohberger. And they kind of mentioned that they might ask for this in last month's hearing. And it seems like this is tied to the possible penalty phase from what we're seeing. We of course, don't have the motion because it's sealed. But is that what the feeling you're getting just from reading the case summary page?
First, let me just say that very few things should be sealed in court. There seems to be a lot of sealing in this case. I am certainly aware of the need for a judge to balance the Sixth Amendment right of the defendant to have a fair trial with the First Amendment right of journalists such as yourself to be able to cover this case. It just seems like there's a little heavy hand on the sealing, FYI, but let's talk about it. We can't peer into it because it's sealed, but it's important to remember that we have two phases in every death penalty case. We have the guilt or innocence phase, and then we have the penalty phase. And the rules for the penalty phase are much more wide open. Many more things come in as evidence during the penalty phase. So it's a good guess that what these mental experts who are going to examine the defendant have to say is more likely to be relevant in the second phase, the penalty phase, than it is the guilt or innocence phase.
And I want to touch on that first point you raised about the sealing. Judge Hippler, a month or two ago, a couple months ago, had said enough with the sealing. You can quit filing everything under seal. You can redact things. It should not be the norm. But now we're back to filing this stuff under seal. Why do you think that is? Because the judge had basically told both sides to knock it off.
Yeah, really. And you're right, Love Tina. Like, it's like, hello, this lady teaches about SKs. You don't think that she would have, even after he was arrested, you don't think she would have sat back and went, damn, I see the signs now. Ace of Base saw the signs. Ace of Base saw the damn signs. You don't think Dr. Catherine Ramsland would see the signs? She teaches them, for God's sakes.
To redact things if possible. Now we've got this kind of super secret motion about asking for this mental health evaluation when this has already been kind of discussed in open court.
Yeah, it's odd. I have represented judges who've sealed things before. I litigated a state Supreme Court case for a judge who sealed the outcome of a particular high-profile case. So I understand the need for it, but there is a countervailing need of openness in courts. We don't live in a closed court society. Some countries have secret courts. America doesn't. We have open courts. So I can only guess that there's some sort of substantive information in there that if they came out could change the jury pool one way or the other towards this defendant, and judges are supposed to try to stop that from happening. Having said that, it's a pretty high standard to meet.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk now about the statute they keep citing with this. It's 18-207. And in the state of Idaho, you cannot use, a mental health issue as a defense. And the defense is saying we're not trying to do that in this case. But they have tried to say that he has this neurobiological issue, the autism spectrum disorder. They've also said he has obsessive compulsive disorder and this other developmental coordination disorder. They've said all of these things. So, they are
And when you're looking at the picture from the day after, the same morning the crime took place. Yeah. The dude looks malnourished. You're not, listen. He did not, you can see he did not have the dexterity to be able to commit this crime. You can just see it from the photo. The dude needed more vitamins. It looked like he was just eating peanut butter sandwiches for like a month. That was it. It's like, bro, you got to eat something else, man. You need vitamins. You need nutrients. You need something to give you some cheeks, bro. You need something to give you some cheeks. Get rid of the bags under the eyes. How in the hell would somebody... oh my gosh. I mean, damn. Coming in there weighing fucking 165 pounds, over 6 foot, thinking that your ass, looking all malnourished and shit. Dude, you would be out of energy after fucking 10 seconds. You'd go, hoof, 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 hoof. And all of a sudden, fuck. Shit, there's no way you would be able to do it. Dude. You'd have to like, hey, can you get through one, hey, can you just hold on a minute? Just give me a couple minute breather, okay? just give me a couple minutes. And then the next, all right, here we go. All right, let's go. And then oh, shit. Putting your hand up against the wall. You're like, fuck. Shit, man, just give me a second. Anybody got any water? Anybody got any water? Come on, man. Get out of here. Just look at the damn photo. Look at the damn photo. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Hold on, it went away. Damn photo. There we go. You know what I'm saying? Look at that. Look at his fucking knuckles, dude. You ain't got no meat on your shit. Look. You ain't got no meat on your knuckles, man. You ain't got no meat on your knuckles. You ain't got no meat on your cheeks, especially right here. You ain't got no meat on your... You see how my cheeks look? You ain't got no meat up here. No meat up here. Look at his face now. His jaw didn't grow. Your jaw don't grow sideways. It means you got some cheeks. This right here, malnourished. And then you look at the knuckles. You see bone through your skin. You know why you see bone through your skin? Because you ain't got no damn meat on your fists, man. You know why you ain't got no meat on your fists? Because you're malnourished. And this dude's supposed to have the dexterity to go in there and and then do a little bit of... Really? Get out of here. All right, back to this real quick. We'll be done with this. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll put out a community post when I figure out, because I probably will do like a live. I'll probably do it at Twitch, honestly. So if you want to, and I don't know, I might get in trouble over there too, but I'd rather get in trouble over there than get in trouble over here. So if you have Twitch, or you have space for Twitch, and you're interested in hanging out, I'll probably do it live over there. Have like a live watch party on it. 1 second. So here's the link for it if you're interested. And we're actually live over there right now. If you do have Amazon Prime gives you a free sub every month to whoever, like where you don't even have to. So the follow is like the sub on YouTube over on Twitch, and then the sub on Twitch is like the membership on YouTube. And if you ever, I mean, I have Amazon Prime. If you have Amazon Prime, you literally get a free sub to any channel you want to once a month. So if you're on Twitch and you have Amazon Prime, just bam, become a sub, gift a sub to yourself to the channel. You can literally do it. It comes with Amazon Prime. You can check it out. All right, so let's get back to this. And basically, he's like, look, man, this stuff is hard, you know, especially when they're not providing certain things. Yeah, I can't wait till trial, because trial, it should all be out there. Twitch is another platform that is mainly for gaming, but Twitch is also for talk shows and podcasts. And it's something, I was actually on Twitch before I was on YouTube. So I always just stream to Twitch anyway, most of the time. I do some gaming over there too. But I also stream the shows over on Twitch as well. And it's another avenue. And like I said, I'll be doing this live watch thing on Twitch. I'm pretty sure that's what I'm going to do. And then I will do the sneak peek. I'll have to test it first. I'll have to test the sneak peek at the lounge and see what happens. Then I can put it on YouTube, but I am going to watch it live on Twitch. And if we get in trouble, hey, we get in trouble. I'm fine, because, I mean, my reputation on Twitch is, I never have any issues with them. And if we do, it is what it is. You know, it's Twitch, not YouTube. So I would definitely look. Let me see. What time is that episode supposed to come out? 8 p.m. Eastern, I think. So whatever time that episode is supposed to come out, I'll probably go live on Twitch. I'm going to try and do Rumble too. But I'm going to try and go live on Twitch probably about 15 minutes before it starts. And then I'll have to, you know, have different screen covers and things like that to block out commercials and all that other stuff. But yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do is we'll go ahead and do that over there on Twitch. So go sub up or follow. It's the follow on Twitch. That's the sub on YouTube. The sub on Twitch is the membership on YouTube. So just go follow me over there on Twitch and hit the bell, and you should get a notification for that. And if not, just show up right before I'll announce the time. I'll put out a community post. I'll drop the link. If you're not able to link up with it tonight, I'll drop the link in a community post sometime tomorrow. And then literally you'll know what time I'm going live. You can click the link and go from there. Now, I think you can watch it without having to register. You just have to register in order to type, I think is what it is. So, and definitely if you have Amazon Prime, just free sub yourself and you'll get that access. All right, so let's finish up this one and then we're going to hop off for the evening and we'll see you back tomorrow. And we'll see. I might have a show tomorrow where I'm just kind of going through different parts, because I got to go through the footage, and I might as well hang out with you guys while I go through it to see if we can find all the times that I have this green car and who's in and out of it on footage.
They're going to now, because the judge has said, you know, they can't tell the jury in the guilt and innocence phase that he has autism spectrum disorder to explain his demeanor and his flat affect and stuff like that. But they will be presenting that in a possible penalty phase if he's convicted as mitigating evidence. They will be presenting that information. So are we to assume from the state filing a motion, seeking an evaluation of Bryan Kohberger, that they want to somehow be able to counter that with the defense, because they also want an extension of time to file their penalty phase rebuttal experts. So are they going to have their own expert, if the judge approves it, because the defense is objecting to this, evaluate Bryan Kohberger and come up with their own evaluation about whether or not he has level 1, the highest functioning form of autism, level 1 autism spectrum disorder?
This is Rich. Imagine the defense counsel saying, we want our expert to examine the defendant and see whether he has mental issues, but we don't want the state to have that as well. That's a little crazy. It doesn't seem right to me. It seems like if one side wants to have an expert, the other side could have an expert. We call this the battle of the experts in law. And it's very common in civil cases, also in criminal cases. I've had my share of expert witnesses in the criminal prosecutions I've done. It's very common for each side to have experts and exchange reports and offer whatever help they can to the jury to understand the issues of the case. With respect to the on the spectrum question, autism, the judge said that might come in if Kohberger takes the stand. Sure. And maybe the lawyers need to explain why he acted a certain way, why he acted a certain way on the witness stand. I think where the judge said you can't do is try to use it as a way to explain how he might react in court while he's sitting at the defense table. That's really just a backdoor way to try to slip into some form of he's not really culpable because he has autism. They made a similar case about why his mental social skills might be something that needs to be brought in. When they even tried to use this as a defense against the death penalty, and the judge struck that down as well. I think the most likely use of all of this is in the penalty phase, where the rules are much more relaxed and all sorts of things can come in as mitigating evidence against the use of the death penalty.
How unlikely, and I know you practice in Ohio, but this is a death penalty case. And so how unlikely or likely is it that if the defense has all of these experts with reports and they've met with Bryan Kohberger, they've evaluated him, they say, oh, look, we believe, one of their experts said, we believe that he knows what's going on. He understands what's going on. Yes, he has autism, but he, has an IQ of 119, things of that nature. The defense has tried to say they continue to monitor his competency. It sounds like he can be difficult to deal with. He sees things in a very black and white way. He doesn't see things in shades of gray. They've basically said it's hard for them to deal with him. How likely is it or unlikely is it that the judge is going to say yes to the state or no to the state, having their own expert evaluate him? I mean, is the judge going to say the state has to be allowed to have a psychiatrist or psychologist of their choosing meet with him to assess whether or not they believe he has autism or OCD or all of these other things?
We start from the premise that people who've been arrested for violent felonies tend to have odd, troublesome, or disturbing personalities. Not all of them, just most of them. I prosecuted a child rape case just last week where the defendant originally told his lawyer he was going to take the stand, and then just as this lawyer was about to call him, he said he wasn't. You could see the frustration on the lawyer's face. So defendants can be difficult to work with if you're a defense lawyer. I understand that could be happening here. That's not a defense, and that doesn't mean you're not culpable for the crime. It just means they tend to be difficult. And I have some empathy for the defense counsel who have to deal with that. But your larger question about whether or not this expert will be allowed, there's two different kinds of experts in a criminal trial. One is somebody who examines a set of facts and then offers an opinion. The other one is somebody who actually examines the defendant in this case, which is unusual. And so allowing someone to have access to DNA samples so both experts can look at it, that's rather common. Having access to the defendant himself, who has a Fifth Amendment privilege against self-incrimination. So having the government's expert is a little different. I do think the judge is going to grant it just out of comedy, just fairness, but it is different to have the state's agent, who presumably is going to tell the state everything he or she learns in that interview, to interview a defendant who has the Fifth Amendment right to against self-incrimination.
Yeah, and I was wondering about that. Like that could be tricky. And so would the defense attorney be present for that meeting, or at least maybe on the other side of the glass or something like that?
They would have to.
Yeah, that would be up to the judge. It's also possible that the judge might order a filter team between the expert and the prosecutors. A filter team is an outside, typically lawyer, not always, but outside lawyer who's not involved with the state, who would filter out anything that might be something that's attorney-client privilege that's learned, so that whatever the expert tells the prosecution is something that relates to mental health and not to information that the defendant gave up as part of the interview that might be incriminatory.
Right. And so maybe that's what it's going to be. Maybe it's going to be, like he said, like in between, just to make sure that it sticks to about the case, and the mental health part, and not necessarily aspects, different parts of the crime. I'm going to go ahead and end the show. Appreciate you guys for hanging out. Thank you very much. I'll drop the Twitch link again if you want to click on that, if you weren't able to earlier. And then also, when it comes to the discussion that we were talking about earlier, when it comes to the vehicle that was leaving the scene, this is the video. If you go to the 2-hour, 41-minute mark of this video, this is the video where I start to break down. You'll see this. You'll see me talking, showing different parts of the vehicle. I'm zooming into the tail lights. I'm showing you the Dodge Dart. I'm even doing some of this right here. What about this one?
What's going on today, guys? So today we're going to be doing an exhaust video on...
You could exhaust videos. This is where I show it all. Like, you see the different we're ready dodges and all that stuff. So go to the 2-hour, 41-minute mark. Let me share this vehicle, or let me share this video as we sit over and over, because I feel like these girls were watched. Now watch this video as this vehicle drives. So that's some muffler. That's some muffler. But I basically go through it all.
Like a little bit of a novel. Let's not.
Went through the whole thing. So 2-hour, 40-minute mark, 41-minute mark of this link. And you can see all the stuff that we discussed. This video actually has the videos, like you saw, the mufflers and all that stuff. When it comes to this, plus I talk a little bit of Eric G in that episode if you're interested. But I want to say thank you all for hanging out. Appreciate you very much. And we will see you tomorrow night. And obviously, we're going to be talking about the Dateline episode, breaking it down Saturday night. So look for a Saturday night for a show. We'll definitely be hanging out tomorrow night. I'm not sure exactly when on YouTube, but we will be over there on Twitch doing the little watch party thing for that Dateline episode. Love you guys. Appreciate you. Please hit the like if you haven't yet. It is the free way to help. And also, if you want to drop a comment as well, those two things help us get out there out in the algorithm there. Love you guys. Appreciate you. Peaceful, positive evening. Stay safe. And as always, we will see you on the next one. Love you.
2422, you guys are okay over there? Alright, is your victim at the hospital? Someone shot there. Alright, do you need us to take pictures of the, is it domestic related? She's calling back. We're going to try to give her a call again, and then she just added another phone number to the 13-year-old grandson who's possibly with the daughter. That was it.
2412.
Veteran Chris, I'd like to call back, but they have a female veteran communication. She's worth the same. Detective 12 secretary coming out.
614, 617.